Zero to Hero Ep2, Why You Are Not Doing Well with Vengeance Demon Hunter. Part 1. Talent. This is the talent setup I suggest for new player. It is heavy on defensive aspect while still maintain high damage output. Your rotation will also very smooth as this setup will generate more fury than you need. With Fracture, Sigil of Flame, Immolation Aura plus Volatile Flame Blood, Fellblade, you will find yourself often capping fury. That was on purpose. We removed fury control to simplify our gameplay. We also have Demon Spike uptime to almost 100%. This is not the talent setup I usually use, but when I need more survivability, this setup is my choice. Although, the output DPS with this build is about 10% lower, it's much better for new player or lazy one like me to play. I am the tank. I keep the threat and stay alive. DPS, thou shalt do your job, is my holy words. Feel free to change talent later as you get better, but I highly recommend you keep this talent set up until that point. Part 2. Rotation. Very simple. Generate resource, then use spender. Vengeance Demon Hunter has 2 resources for their ability. First one is Fury. You will get this by using ability like Fracture, Sigil of Flame, Immolation Aura, and Fellblade. As I mentioned earlier, with this build, you won't have to worry about that. Second resource or your true resource is Souls. Your main generator from this build will be Fracture, as it will spawn 2 to 3 souls with each cast. Sigils are also spawning souls with Soul Sigils talent. Yet beside Elysian Decree, other Sigils soul spawning are just some nice extra reward. Anyway, here's your rotation. Immolation Aura, Sigil of Flame, Fracture, Spirit Bomb or Soul Cleave. Use Fellblade whenever you are out of fury and everything else is on cooldown. Golden rule. Do not use Spirit Bomb if you have less than 3 souls or you are fighting with a single target. Soul Cleave is more effective in those cases. Now come the gem of this build. You see the rotation on the screen? Beside the spender, all of the generators can be swapped depending on situation or your mood. They will not affect your performance too much or at all. You would naturally do tons of damage and leeching your health back like a mosquito. Part 3. Cooldown. Metamorphosis. This is both an offensive and defensive cooldown. However, let's keep it as defensive cooldown. Newbie tip. Do not save it until you are already in danger. If you do not know when to use it, then use it on cooldown. I usually use it when gathering a big pull because this usually be your most vulnerable time. The Hunt, a strong burst and dot damage. It also add a 25% leech on the target. Not a lot for a tank, but better than nothing. Newbie tip. Do not use it while you are active tanking. Need some space? Infernal Strike out and charge back in with the Hunt. Sigil of Chain, Silence, Misery. Use them to stop enemies from doing nasty thing or setting up your pulls. Newbie tip. Sigil of Silence can interrupt cast of non-CC-able targets. The condition is it will be the only target the Sigil affect. Fiery Brand. With this setup, this is purely a defensive ability. Use it on any tank burster. If you do not know what a tank burster is, well, it is the ability that some big bad potato hit you and kill you before you can react. Use the recap button after you die to diagnose your death and use Fiery Brand next time before that ability hit you and see the magic. Newbie tip. Mostly you will use this on boss or some ads that are bigger than others. Elysian Decree. Use it on cooldown. No other tip. Fell Devastation. For now, use it on cooldown. Pro tip. I usually use it ASAP after gathering the packs. It does 2 things, a high burst damage building threat. With demonic talent, it gives you metaform for 5 seconds and you are basically invincible during that time, making it easier to start building up your resource and establish the pull. On boss fight, using Fell Devastation alternating with Fiery Brand and Metamorphosis usually enough for you to get over all tough situations. If you used all of those cooldown and boss still slapping your face, like what my mom did to me when I prepared the beef stew but forgot to turn on the crock pot, well, your group is not strong enough to defeat that boss. Darkness. Whenever you feel it cool to drop, I'm not a fan of probability. 30% chance of dodging all damage never worked for me when I need it. Part 4. Gameplay. Not much to talk here. My only big tip for you is use Demon Spike when you starting the pull. Like the moment you decide to press Infernal Strike and jump into the packs, use a stack of Demon Spike. It is not on global cooldown, so you can use it whenever as long as there is a stack to use. The biggest value of demon spikes come from 15% increased parry that help you sit on around 30% parry chance total. We cannot parry from the back for turn your face to the monster. Part 5, Macro. This tutorial is trash. He didn't even talk about the most basic damage mitigation of Demon Hunter. Well, I read your mind. I just talked about it, though very briefly. Demon Spike is our most important damage mitigation and you should keep it up at all time. Why I didn't mention about it despite of the ability is very important. Here's your answer. This macro will be included in the description of this video, so make sure you get it. It is the macro to use your most use ability, Fracture. It has Demon Spike built in. Whenever you use Fracture, you will also use Demon Spike as long as a charge is available. Easy, more than 95% uptime. Before we end the video, let me show you how to use Signal of Silence to interrupt non-CC-able ads. That's it for this video. I will upload some video demonstrate how I am doing with the build later. Subscribe if you like the content and see the new video when they come out. Thank you for watching and have fun.